America brands this the axis of evil. This is the million-man North Korean military. Kim Jong-il is the absolute ruler. If he gives the orders, North Korean missiles could devastate Seoul, Tokyo, and Kyoto, possibly with nuclear weapons. And this is North Korea as it has rarely been seen before. South Koreans talk business with the North Korean elite. Former implacable enemies are discussing multi-billion-dollar investments into this sealed-off communist state. This could be the initial budding of revolutionary change. Why this change now? Is North Korea desperate because of a failed economy, poverty, and starvation? Or is North Korea deceptive, playing for time while becoming a major nuclear power, threatening East Asia and the world economy? The demilitarized zone separating South and North Korea. We approach from the north. Surprised South Korean soldiers monitor our movements. I was given unprecedented access from the North Korean authorities, despite the fact they did restrict my shooting. This is not just a separation between one people. It's a separation of culture, a separation of ideologies, a separation of economic systems. Why does North Korea need 1 million soldiers if it wants peace to build an economy? Major Pak Myog-chol answers our question. The North Korean military rarely talks to Western media.
That is the American Post.
Part of that answer lies in history. A sizable American force still remains here more than 50 years after fighting with North Korea.
So this is the place where we had this armistice talk with the Americans during the Korean War.
That war cost millions of lives. An armistice signed here split the Korean peninsula into the communist north and the capitalist south. There is still no peace treaty with the United States, and North Korea still views America as a threat.
We do not hide the fact that our nation does not have a good standard of living as other nations. Since the early 20th century and the Japanese occupation, we know what it means to be occupied. We can never again allow our country to be deprived of its freedom. And this is why we are tightening our economic belts to be militarily strong. We cannot resist the United States with imaginary military power. We have to build up our defense, be strong, and resist.
To make their point, local officials take visitors to the USS Pueblo. North Korea claims this was an American reconnaissance vessel spying on the country. In 1968, North Korean naval forces captured the ship.
These guys heard our secrets day and night.
The Pueblo, say the North Koreans, is a reminder of the need to be on guard against American plans.
They had 7 antennae, and they monitored our secret communications and passed the information to the United States.
And that is the flag, the ship flag, the mark, and the military uniform.
Our soldiers boarded the ship in 3 groups. One unit took the bridge. They arrested an officer and demanded to know who is the captain. At first he denied he was the commander, but after they aimed their guns at him, he finally admitted he was the captain.
The crew was freed nearly a year later after the United States issued a letter admitting the ship was on a spy mission.
We saw how the United States attacked Serbia in 1999. We have learned from the American aggression against Serbia and Iraq. If Iraq had a powerful military, the US would not have been able to wage war against it. America's Bush initiated a policy against us. He branded us as part of the axis of evil. Bush put us on a list of targets to be attacked. He wants to attack us with nuclear weapons. But we have our nuclear deterrence. We do not hide this. On the Korean Peninsula, why is there peace and armistice? We have the ability to reduce these dangers because we have this power.
Seoul, South Korea's capital, is just 60 vulnerable kilometers from North Korea's powerful military. Impoverished North Korea is capable of destroying this economic giant.
I think first and foremost is security. I think North Korea has to demobilize a substantial part of its military. What is it doing with over 1 million troops in arms when it's in such dire straits economically and politically? Reduce their troops, remove their long-range artillery, which threatens Seoul, start serious arms control discussions with the South. I think it has to come clean on nuclear weapons. Unless it does that, it's not going to fundamentally change its relationship with the U.S. or the rest of the world.